Me and Dolo go to Porn and Chicken all the time.
I remember we tried to book you guys and we couldn't afford you.
Oh, was that a thing? That's like, awesome.
I think
you got Valentino Khan and Diplo playing Skrillex, and then me and Dolo charge too much money.
You made an offer and we're like, no, that's too much, and you're like, cool, whatever. So I think
there's no way you got it was definitely like a battle. Like our ego was like, no, we can get this much, and you guys were like, we're fucking Porn and Chicken. We're giving you the local rate, which is completely fair.
Well, all right. Battle raps, cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Very special guest today, a legend in the building, a Chicago staple, a teacher, a musician, a DJ, one of the illest mohawks I think I've ever seen, still rocking it. Absolutely. How long you been rocking that?
I think I first started doing it when I was in high school, so like over 20 years ago. So there's only been a couple of phases within there where I had like normal here, but back in like the late 2000s. But then it was probably like around like 2008, I started doing it like full time, all the time. I never went back, 2008, 2009. I've had it since.
That's incredible. That's a feat in and of itself, right there.
It partially comes out because I for a lot of years I just would do it myself. It's like a haircut that you kind of can do on your own with a little bit of practice.
Yeah, it's like you're just tracing. You got the lines.
I just follow the lines. Yeah. It wasn't that good when it's always better when someone else does it, but I was able to do it self-sufficiently for a long time, and then it kind of became like a recognizable thing that made it people could spot me from a mile away, or if they seen me play, they're like, oh yeah, it's the guy with the mohawk. It's easier to create some brand identity, so to speak. So I'm kind of stuck with it now.
Yeah, it's good branding. Ladies and gentlemen, Orville Kline, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. And I just wanted to get your finish off the intro there. Sometimes I forget to say the name. We just start talking and I completely blank. But yeah, I mean, it must have been, was there ever, you in Rock City, was there ever a battle of the Mohawks?
Yeah, it was
like Spy versus Spy.
It was, we always had like our own different takes on it. Mine was blonde. He had a darker, his was usually black. He did more graphics, I think, on the sides than I did. I went through some graphic phases where I would have some stuff on the sides and I'm in different colors and stuff like that. So it was friendly. It was more of like not really a competition, but it's like, hey, we're the Mohawk DJ brothers, we kind of got along with that. So
the Mohawk community. Is there a Mohawk community? Are you on like Facebook pages or anything?
If there should be, I guess there's not a whole lot of us. So
that's awesome. So you are, let me just intro you like from my introduction to you coming up DJing, 10 plus years ago. You were running Porn and Chicken. You were part of Porn and Chicken, the most incredible and exciting party I absolutely went to. I mean, I think that was like the last of those parties. Actually, there's still some. There's like Derek Carter's Sunday party is still around. There's some old school parties, but a lot of them have kind of phased out. But Porn and Chicken was absolutely like, that was something that you had to take your friends to who came from out of town. If they were for the weekend, you were like, bro, you got to stay Monday because we got to hit Porn and Chicken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's just start there. Tell me about Porn and Chicken.
It was one of those moments in time where kind of all the right ingredients and stars aligned to produce, I think, probably the craziest party that was consistent. There's every once in a while, like one party will just, it'll get really crazy. It's like, oh, this is the wildest life, but it's hard to do that consistently on a weekly basis. And I think like, we just like all the right ingredients were hitting like all your senses every week, every Monday night too, for about a decade, and that like it turned into some of the craziest nights of my life. And I think a lot of the patrons can attest to that as well. We always were trying to kind of being on the forefront of the craziest music we could find, high energy music, showing hardcore porn on the TVs, giving away free chicken wings. And on top of all that, it was like a different costume theme party every single. A lot of people forget about that too. It's like
I did forget about
not only
that.
throwing like on top of all the other stuff that was consistent every week, it was also a different costume party every week. Like most people only really go out do that on Halloween, but we did it every single Monday of the year, all around. Yeah, so
a long time, consistently putting in the work and building up the brand and like creating something really cool. That, I mean, where does porn and chicken even come from? That seems like something you guys were like sitting around smoking weed. And someone was like,
it just kind of happened. It wasn't, I don't think it was anyone's particular's idea. It started back when Dom was a manager at this now closed, now gone bar called Risque Cafe. And
that was in Wrigley, right?
It was right in Wrigleyville. Like,
damn,
right
I
down the
DJ'd
street.
there one time, bro.
Yeah, right down the street from Wrigley Field. So it was kind of like, and it was a risque kind of like burlesque pinup themed bar, which was not a sports bar at all, which is right in the middle of Wrigleyville, which was kind of it kind of stood out. And you know how most like local bars will have like food or drink specials during the week. Monday night they had an all you can eat chicken wing special. They also had a $2 beer special. And because it was like a risque burlesque pinup themed night, they also happened to show vintage porns on Monday night too. So they kind of started promoting it loosely as like, oh, it's the beer and chicken and vintage porn night. And then the right people and the right groups of friends started showing up, and it kept getting crazier. And then eventually like Dom seen me DJing at another random Sunday night party that I was throwing called Poison Therapy. He's like, yeah, you should come and DJ my thing. And we're calling it Porn and Chicken. I'm like, what's that? What's weird? Like, I don't know. And then, so I went and I played, and it was really crazy. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And just like, it got simplified down to Porn and Chicken. And even back then they were doing loose themes. You know, it wasn't like every other week it would be like a different theme. And there was a bunch of other resident DJs that started off mostly just playing rock music, indie, post, like hardcore, pop punk music and stuff like that. And then it turned into a crazy electronic dubstep dance party with bonkers madness and all kinds of stuff like that. You know.
So because when I first heard of Porn and Chicken, it was you, Dom Brown, and Fives, right?
Yeah.
So how did you guys get together? Obviously, Dom recruited you to play, and then you built that relationship. Where did Fives come in, and then at what point did it move on? And you guys
and I just like, I don't want to discredit, because it was a giant team, a force of people that made the party as successful as it was. Like when it first started at Risque Cafe, you know, it was Dom he was the ringleader, so to speak, and he brought in me to DJ. He brought in Ammo to do like burlesque grinding fire performances.
That's right. Yeah.
He brought in Mandy May Black, who was a bartender, but also kind of co-hosted the party. And then there was a bunch of other friends that were. So then, like, eventually when we got kicked out of Risque Cafe because it was too big, it kept getting fines from the city for being over capacity.
Really?
They eventually said we can't. It got so busy that the owner of the bar had to open up the next bar next door and put a doorway in between for the spillover of how many people were trying to get in. And then it still became too many people. So kind of left or kind of got kicked out of Risque Cafe. And then we moved the party to Evil Olive, and that's like, all right, hey, we're starting like we actually kind of have like a theme and a plan. At that point, I took like the music director role. You know, Dom was still kind of hosting and bartending, and Mandy was the co-host. And then we had our other resident DJs, Jay Sephora and Dan Dwyer. You know, they were kind of like also the residents at that time. And then, you know, we started that, and when we moved to Evil Olive, like Fi was a manager of Evil Olive. And then so it was like over about a year or so of working closely with Evil Olive. Fi kind of came in and became more like deeply involved. And fast forward like a few years later, now it's like the party kept getting booked to play at other venues in other cities. So it's like, how do you move a whole party? So it's like we kind of like turned the party turned into a DJ group. And so it's like the people from the party are throwing this party in other cities and other places. and then the DJ group turned into me and Dom and Phi, and then also Ammo doing burlesque performances and stuff like that. So it's the party like started the DJ group, and then that turned into sister parties, and we also started a record label, and then everything kind of like it really opened up a lot of doors and opportunities to expand way beyond just this Monday night thing that was happening in Chicago. So
yeah, that's crazy. And that's another thing I remember seeing you guys go out of town as Porn and Chicken, like taking your entire party and doing it somewhere else. That was, I remember looking at that and being like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, we
that's
had like
some new
we had
shit.
residents and sister parties in Vegas, in Denver, Hawaii. We did one in Tokyo, which was crazy. We were doing like the basement at Webster Hall in New York. We threw like a really big winter music conference down in Miami at Club 11, and we had regular spots where some of them were one-offs, and then other ones we were going like once a month, or so we got to like spread the gospel of Porn and Chicken all across the country, and then even like some overseas and stuff like that too. So all that energy of being in other cities, now all of a sudden we have people from all over the country hearing about. Then they want to come back to Monday. It makes the Monday party crazier, and that just it all kind of fuels the fire from different directions, and it really kind of blew up like that. So
Yeah, that's so sick, dude. That's so sick. That's so tight. That's something to be proud of. Absolutely, you should be very proud of that.
It was a great time, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So originally, you guys were playing more rock, more punk kind of stuff.
Yeah, just like so back, like that's what like even before like I got involved and starting to play there, like it was really like Dan Dwyer and Dave that were the residents that it was kind of on that, and then they brought in Jay Sephora who was like an actual DJ, so to speak, or an electronic music DJ.
Okay.
And he started playing like electro and house and kind of like edgier stuff. And at that time, like it's kind of coming out of like the early 2000s, like electro wave, where there was a lot of rock like crossover with dance music, and that was kind of like the first stuff that I started getting into and spinning like as a DJ was a lot of the crossover stuff, mixing electro and house and rock and punk and indie dance and stuff like that. So it was like it was an easy like just, hey, we're playing this rock, we can also play some electro that has guitars in it and remixes and stuff like that. So that's how it kind of started, and then as the energy of the party got crazier, we kept trying to push it. How do we go like even harder, even then like dubstep kind of became a thing. Like when the party started, there was like proto dubstep stuff happening in the UK, but there wasn't any regular parties in Chicago where you can go and hear it. But we were like one of the first places to actually like play dubstep in Chicago, like on a weekly basis at a nightclub,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, people will say, "Oh yeah, there's other parties that maybe played it, but like to have it on a weekly basis like that, we were like one of the first, just because the energy of the music like best suited the energy of the party, just heavy, hard, dirty, nasty kind of stuff." So.
Yeah. And you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys kind of you breathed a lot of life into Evil Olive. Because I can remember going there and it was like not very updated and great. And over time, it got better and better. And I think because you guys were bringing so many people there and you sort of created a name for it, and that spawned other nights of people starting parties there, you sort of...
Yeah, I think like, the Monday nights definitely floated the whole club for a lot of years. And then there were like Zebo had a party, which was pretty successful and consistent. There's a party.
What was the name
called,
of Zebo's party? Sorry, if you remember.
I think it wasn't. It might have been the Get Down, but I think that was somewhere else.
Because I do remember that. I got to get Zebo on here too.
Yeah. So Zebo was a resident, and then my other friend like Martin Malefactor, he was throwing a party series called Twisted there, where they were bringing in like all the really big like drum and bass and dubstep and trap and like forward thinking kind of cutting edge electronics. But those were like Friday, Saturday night parties. And then Wednesday was Get Weird for a little while, I think. The Trap House was there on Tuesdays.
They did their afters there.
A Trap House afters was on Tuesday nights there. So yeah, I think like really but Monday was like the big money maker or the glue that kept it on the map and kept it open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we left Evil Olive in 2017, and then it shut down like a couple weeks later.
Okay. Yeah. So it makes sense.
I don't know. Like I don't know if that was like another when we moved the party to the mid at that time. Once we left, it shut down. I don't know if we kind of seen it coming, or it was a lot of things that kind of like made that move happen. But
yeah, a lot of outside factors.
Yeah, but it was just kind of as soon as we left, it was done, and it's been closed ever since.
Yeah.
So
yeah, someone's got to do something in there. Someone's got to buy that up.
Yeah, it's just been chilling for like 7-8 years now, just empty. So
yeah, I have some incredible memories inside of that place.
Yeah, I got like I remember getting to like on a Saturday night party. It was I think Boys Noise was the headliner, and I got to like do direct support for him. And then after he got done playing, I was like closing out the night, and then he came back on and like asked me if he can DJ trap music with me after the set. He's like, "Can I come and play?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, you could." Boys Noise, you could come and tag team with me. And then like I remember Skrillex came through one night and ended up like DJing in the back room until like 1 p.m. the next day, like after hours, like just playing all house music stuff. Like that was like back in like 2012 or something like that. And yeah, so like crazy things like that. Like on Mondays, like all the artists that were doing in town in Chicago in the bass and the EDM world, they would stick around till Monday and come through and just jump on and play for fun. Like we had Diplo come through. We had one night, it was like Carnage back to back, Kaizo back to back. I think like Hero Bus, there might have been that. It was like, or back to back Valentino Khan. Hero Bus was there on other nights, but like crazy, like 3-way pop ups and stuff like that would happen on the regular every Monday because everyone knew like that was the spot to go if you want to have a good time and play whatever music you want,
Yeah.
So,
and this might get me in trouble, but I can't really think of a party that has that sort of pull or that sort of reach or like name or clout or whatever since Porn and Chicken.
Yeah, there's not really. I don't think there's anything like that in Chicago anymore. There's other parties that like popped up like on the West Coast, like Brownies and Lemonade is like another big thing where a lot of big artists would just come and play for fun because they're there just because they love the music and they know it's gonna be, hey, this is gonna be the funnest place to play, so they're gonna show up and play for free and like do so. So there's stuff happening on the West Coast kind of like that, and some stuff on the East Coast that I'm not even as hip to, but I can't think of anywhere in Chicago like, oh, you have to go here and play here.
Yeah, I guess maybe House Calls. House Calls has a really great brand and name.
And I think they're doing a good job with, and the Red Line parties are pretty good in the underground techno world. Mm-hmm. But even then, I feel like neither of those, they don't have like a home base. Like they're always popping up at different places, so it's hard to be like, oh, this is the spot on Monday or this is the spot on Wednesday or whatever.
Exactly.
So it makes it harder to establish that foundation,
Which I think maybe is a sign of the times because that's just kind of what it is right now. It's what people want is pop-ups and different experiences.
Yeah.
They don't want to be in the same room. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just like what people are craving right now.
Yeah. I think that could be a part of it too. But yeah. I think like a lot of like all the success and the energy and momentum, it all stem from that weekly it was consistency. I think like I think whatever you're trying to do in the arts or the music industry, whether you're trying to be a DJ or a producer or or a podcast host, it's being consistent. If you do anything, I think consistently and put your time in it, it's gonna pay off. I think that's like one of the factors where I see from working with like lots of students, the ones that like stick with that routine and just start cranking stuff out. And same thing goes for a party. If you stick with it and you plant those seeds, it'll grow,
Yeah. I'm big on consistency. That's all I can do is show up and put the work in. I don't think I'm the greatest of all time at anything. I don't think I'm like, I don't think I have anything that anybody else doesn't have other than just I'll fucking be there and I'll do it.
Yeah, it's a valuable skill these days.
All right, last porn and chicken question, and then we can move on.
Okay.
Where and when did Take Your Shirt Off start happening?
So there was like a weekly ritual that would happen every week at 2 a.m. at the bar. And so like it just kind of happened where it was an opportunity to go over the rules of porn and chicken, which is another ritualistic thing, which we did consistently every single week for, every party. And so like at like around 2 a.m. like every week we would cut the music off and Dom would get on the mic and announce the rules of the party. Like rule number one, which is there'll be no fucking water. If anyone orders water, you get thrown out, which is we probably couldn't get away with that now. And it's not super PC to refuse people water, but it's not we didn't actually refuse people water, just for the record. But
yeah, it's just a fun thing to say.
We're here to and like another rule. This is a blackout banger. Everyone who's here is required to get blacked the fuck out. Like and it's like that's another rule. And then the final rule was when I say take your shirt off, you take your fucking shirt off. So like at that same time, we would encourage people to jump up and get on the bar and then take their clothes off if they wanted to. And then we would like pour shots to everyone in the bar. So it's like that kind of turned into a thing. And then like we turned it into a song, into a track. Mm-hmm. So we could just play the song, which would cue the announcement, which tied into the weekly ritual of doing that and the consistency. And then it became like a thing bigger than that. So, it became a slogan, or a lot of people know the Take Your Shirt Off track now. And then there was a whole bunch of really good remixes of it that came out and stuff like that. So that's the story there.
Yeah, that's so tight, dude. That's so tight.
I'm always a fan of like having like making music like with a story or to serve a function or a theme or some kind. You can just like making tracks just for the sake of making. But if you make music with a purpose, it can go. It has the ability, I think, to go beyond the scope of just making a track for the sake of make music, make art with purpose. You can quote that. So
we'll clip that up. That's so sick, bro. Just sitting here even talking about this is just jogging my memory a little bit. And yeah, I mean, me and Dolo go to Porn and Chicken all the time. All we would try and do is recruit girls to go to Porn and Chicken because it's like it just sets the vibe of like what we're trying to do for the night. You know what I'm saying?
I remember we tried to book you guys and we couldn't afford you.
Oh, was that a thing? That's like, awesome.
I think
you got Valentino Khan and Diplo playing Skrillex, and then me and Dolo charge too much money.
But this goes to show like your business, like for the locals. I think I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. Like you made an offer and we're like, no, that's too much, and you're like, cool, whatever. So I think,
damn, that's awesome. But I do remember doing, I don't know if we did Porn and Chicken. I remember playing at Evil Olive in that raised up DJ booth.
Yeah.
We made a beer bong that would go all the way down. We went to Home Depot. Yeah, we poured it up top, and then someone all the way down on the floor would drink it. I think that was for the Trap House though. But man, that's actually so funny to hear. We charge too much money. There's no way. It was definitely like a battle. Like our ego was like, no, we can get this much, and you guys were like, bro, we're fucking Porn and Chicken. We're giving you the local rate, which is completely fair. You know? Yeah. How did you get into DJing? Let's go back. Let's go way back. Yeah, actually, even before that, are you from Chicago?
Yeah, I grew up like in the south suburbs. Like, originally was like born in like Burbank, and then I grew up in Alsip, which is like right on the south edge of the city limits, like technically outside of Chicago. So I grew up there. I started my musical journeys. I started playing saxophone in second grade. So I started off with that. And then a couple years later, I got my first guitar. And then, I was still like in the school band, like reading sheet music and playing jazz saxophone and stuff like that. But then like, once I got the guitar, my focus shifted into like hard rock, metal, punk, industrial music. And me and my friends all started putting bands together. And, so we're like playing in bands, writing songs and doing that like into high school. And then it was like, I think I was like a sophomore in high school. And at that time, like I didn't know any other DJs. I was like familiar with electronic music, like from a very like outside perspective. I was so like immersed into the rock and punk and metal industrial world. And my mom and my stepdad volunteered me to DJ a New Year's Eve party at their local bar. They're like, hey, you do music, right? It's the same thing. You play guitar, like you play in bands, so you could DJ. It's like
They're not wrong.
So I'm like, okay, I guess so. And so they actually bought me a dual CD player mixer, Newmark CD Mix 2. So it has like 2 trays that come out and like a little built-in crossfader. And they just like booked me to DJ a New Year's Eve party at their local bar. The local sportsman's club. So there was like a couple hundred like middle-aged people there. I'd never done it before, literally ever. I just show up with this dual CD player and as many CDs as I could get my hands on, like classic rock and disco and some new stuff ish and like whatever I could, like whatever I had or whatever I could borrow or find. And I ended up like DJing the whole night, probably from like 7 o'clock until like 2 a.m. or something like that. I made it through the whole thing, and they're like, wow, this is really good. This is way better than the other DJs that normally play here. I'm like, cool. So they hired me to do it. And then I started DJing they kept like hiring me to come back there. And then that led to me like DJing like birthday parties and retirement parties and graduation parties and like all the local kind of like suburban, like, things. And it was like a really good just like side job for me at that time. So all the money I was making like DJing, it went back into like buying guitar amps, new guitars, and then like getting into recording and learning like how to use Pro Tools. And then so like in the midst of all that, like I started after I started DJing, I also started drinking. And that like led to me like hanging out with my friends in high school and starting to throw parties in my mom's basement when they were out of town. And then so now like, sometimes you would have bands play in the basement, but now it's like, hey, I have all this DJ equipment and I have all my friends here and we're all at a party. I should DJ that too. So then I started to actually like learn how to like actual DJ, like beat matching, blending, playing electro, not just playing like country music or throwback stuff. Nothing wrong, nothing against it, but then I started, then I got into electro and like, then I started seeing a lot of the rock crossover stuff, and then eventually I got turntables, and then eventually I got Serato Scratch, so I could use the laptop, and that was a game changer. Just like being able to use control vinyl and Serato with the laptop, so I didn't have to have all these CDs. For a while, I had like CDs and an iPod. I was like really like MacGyvering these DJ sets like early on. And then anyways, like eventually like I got all my bands kind of broke up and my DJ career kind of took off. So that was kind of like how I got into it. So
damn. Yeah,
and I've been
awesome.
DJing, I think that first set was like 2002. So about 23 years now.
Sick.
And I've been doing almost every week for consistently since that, so
DJing led me to drinking as well.
yeah. It was kind of, I don't know, I think it might have been the other way around. It was like, oh, we're partying, and I could also, it just made sense at the time to kind of,
They do go hand in hand.
yeah,
Let's not lie here. I'm not saying you got to drink to do it,
No.
but they pair nicely.
They do, yeah. I did like a couple of sober spans over the years, but it's more fun to drink probably, but
Yeah.
some people are really good at it.
That's the
some
thing.
of
You
that.
gotta.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
Yeah,
it's a
it
skill.
is.
Absolutely. Drinking alcohol is a skill. Thank you guys for watching and supporting the show. The Party with Strategy podcast has a brand new sponsor, a local Chicago meal prep company, Prepped and Plated. Female owned and operated. I've known this woman for a long time. She's fantastic, and I love what she's doing right now. She's giving people what they want. She's giving me what I'm looking for, and everyone else I talk to is looking for. Locally sourced meats, no steroids, antibiotics, hormones, or preservatives. No dyes, no seed oils, no sugar added. Everything is clean, good ingredients, high quality, and it tastes even better than all the things that I just said. It's a great company. I'm excited. She's helping me shred for my wedding that I got coming up. We're working together. We're building something. We're supporting Chicago. I think if you guys are looking for good, high quality food, if you're looking for a diet plan, or if you're just looking to support a local Chicago business, go to preppedandplated.com. Place your order. It's easy. Add your meals to the cart. Check out. They get delivered straight to you. Boom, you're ready to go. Let's go, champ. Let's get back to the show. Thank you again for watching and supporting. Booyah. So you are a certified Ableton teacher.
Yes, the technical term is Ableton Certified Trainer.
Oh, sorry.
And I've been an Ableton Certified Trainer since 2009. So like rewinding back to that story, like, you know, I kind of got into like digital recording and engineering stuff, like from being in my bands. I wanted to be able to record demos for the bands that I was in. So that led me to get Pro Tools. And as soon as I graduated from high school, I went to a now closed recording school called Music Industry Workshop, where I got in and I learned the ins and outs of recording using Pro Tools and MIDI and kind of like all this production stuff. And at the same time, I was also like, I learned how to use Ableton and started using that to make beats and start producing my own electronic music. And eventually I started teaching at the school that I went to, and I was the only one that really knew Ableton. And I had an opportunity to get certified from Ableton from actually already teaching it at the school. So since then, you know, I've been an Ableton certified trainer. I've taught lectures at tons of colleges and universities. I also teach part-time at Millikan University right now and do a lot of pop-up workshops and do private lessons and training and teach a lot of people how to make music. And some of my students have been extremely successful at it.
What do we got? Let's get some shout outs.
I want to shout out to, I think one of my students, his name's Brilliant. He's like got hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify for his music. If you look Brilliant up on Spotify, shout out to Alex Wolf. You know, he started off as a student. Now he's a collaborator. We got a bunch of tracks coming out. He's been crushing it. He's just on the podcast.
Yeah, he was just
a couple weeks ago. And another student, he goes by Malfunction. He made a dubstep remix of Mambo No. 5 that got played at the closing main stage set by Timmy Trumpet at Tomorrow World like last summer, and he got played in that set. So it's like to see like one of my students like on his music on the main stage closing set at Tomorrow World. It's like doesn't really get much bigger than that, you know.
That is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Dubstep remix of Mambo No. 5 is not something that I ever thought I would hear, but I have to go listen to it now.
It's pretty catchy. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I have like a Spotify playlist where you can see like dozens of my students, and some of them you probably would recognize. Like Nick from the Basura Boys did some training with me. He's crushing it right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And shout out to the homie Mauricio. You know, he started off as a student, but we put out like a whole bunch of tracks this past year. He's like kind of crushing it in the Latin, Afro, Latino kind of house vibes, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So
that's so dope, dude. And yeah, I mean, I follow you and I see all your stuff. Sometimes you have like a whole fucking room of 17 different machines hooked up to one another, talking MIDI, Ableton, quarter inch.
So like, you know, once you've done like 3,472 DJ sets, it's like, all right, where do we take the art? How do we push it further? So my passion project as of late has been my live modular electronic set where I show up with no sample, no songs planned, no audio files, no records. It's just a whole bunch of synthesizers and samplers and equipment, and I show up with and improvise and produce all the music for a whole set. And it could be an hour, it could be 3 hours long, or sometimes longer.
Where are you doing those?
Mostly at after hours parties.
Okay.
I've done some at some clubs, but I think the style of music that it produces, it definitely lends itself to more of an after hours crowd where people are a little bit, it's late and people are more open to hearing more experimental, weird, different stuff. That's not like, the funniest thing is I've done it at other like regular bars and clubs, and I'll be like synthesizing all this music like on the spot, and then people will come up and ask me to take requests, and like, can you play this song? I'm like, I mean, I don't think I could pull it out of all these synthesizers. Like,
you're like, yeah, let me look up the sheet music real quick. I'll compose it for you.
So I could try to program it, So it's, I think it definitely lends itself. So I've been doing almost like every other weekend or so. I've been
you're ripping often with that.
Yeah.
Do you know when the next one is? I mean, this will drop on Monday. If it's after Monday, I think you should.
I might be doing a set in Miami this weekend, but it's not confirmed yet. So
okay.
And I have a couple other in Chicago that are not 100% confirmed yet, but just I try to post them on follow my Instagram, and
that's really dope, dude. I would love to see. Is there any recordings like
I've
YouTube videos or anything?
I've been dropping like short reel clips of it. It's tough to like to do the whole set and capture the audio and the video for the whole one, but I'm working on getting better at that. So
we gotta hook you up with Diamond Cut. Yeah,
I need to get some full video, so soon, hopefully on my YouTube, I'll have some like full sets, but so now it's like, you got to kind of see it live. And the whole thing with that too, it's like, it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of experimentation, and like, with high risk comes high reward, but sometimes you really click, everything just kind of falls into place. Like, holy shit, this is like an amazing moment. And then sometimes it doesn't totally land where I want it to. But even in those like moments, it's still really cool stuff happening. So, but right now, I think in refining and rebuilding the modular system and like trying it out, I think I'm at a really happy place with how I'm able to operate it right now. So
that's really dope.
Yeah,
man. And the core of this whole thing is Ableton, right? You're running off the computer, or is it all hardware? It's not software.
So it's all hardware.
Really? That's way doper.
So like, I am using the Ableton Push 3 in standalone mode though. So there's technically no laptop, but there is kind of like a computer in the Ableton Push 3 standalone. So it's a little bit cheating. I don't want to say it's not like you could, a lot of people do.
Absolutely not cheating.
Yeah. So it is I'm kind of running Ableton, but it's like a limited version of it in this hardware Push 3 standalone. And I'm using that mostly just for like generating MIDI sequences, and I'm using it for some effect processing and stuff like that. So
that's really dope, dude. It's kind of like, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I'm imagining it's like Mark Ribier type, he's got the looper and he's creating stuff live like that.
Some stuff is like I perform it and then I capture it as a loop, and then it gets big, and other stuff it just gets spit out of a sequencer kind of at random, but I'm there to kind of steer the randomness and to give it kind of shape and mold it in real time to make it musical and to keep it interesting. It's really easy to go up and make a cool loop, like, oh, this is cool. Now, like, who wants to listen to that for an hour or two though? You have to like continually steer the herd of sounds in directions to keep it interesting and flowing like it was a DJ set without having any music, making all the
music.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some fucking real futuristic shit right there.
I think it's, like, especially like, it's never been easier to DJ, and I think like there's new DJs and there's new stuff happening all the time. It's like, to me, it's a fun challenge. It's also a way of kind of setting my solo stuff apart from the 7 million other DJs that you're playing with. It's a challenge, and I think it keeps it a little bit more interesting. I mean, if I said, hey, I'm doing a DJ set tonight, versus, hey, I'm doing this crazy modular thing that's all improvised with all this equipment. It's like I could see like, you would want to check out which one would you rather go see?
Modular,
Right,
unplanned.
exactly, right. You know, it's like I DJ all the time still, like it's like I don't the main focus is this, because I think it is like it's a little bit more special, it's more challenging, and it's, you know, it's a lot of time and preparation and experimentation. It all kind of bleeds it together. So I think like the more things you can do to set yourself apart, the more interesting or excited people can be about it, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're doing. So
Yeah. And especially, I mean, if you're doing something that you love and you truly enjoy, watching that is like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You're up there DJing. Obviously, we all love DJing. That's why we do it. But, you know, sometimes you have those nights where you're like, all right, yeah, I'll play Ring My Bell. I'll play September. I'll play, I know what works. You're just kind of muscle memory getting through it.
Go through the motions.
But when you're up there, like, really creating and trying to pull something out of yourself, and just watching that in and of itself is incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like you know, I don't get it with DJ sets. I don't really get nervous too much anyway. It's very rare, like, because I've done it so much, and I'm usually sometimes if I get booked to do a DJ set that's like out of my comfort zone a little bit. If I'm doing like a genre that I almost never play, then I'll get a little bit nervous, like make sure like I'm on top of my stuff. But with this, so like I'm always kind of nervous because there's a lot could go wrong. It's easy to, and it's all the pressure is on you. If people don't like the music, it's not like, oh, I didn't like that one song you played. It's like, no, I didn't. It's like you don't like all the stuff that you're creating on the spot. So
yeah,
but
you're really putting it out there. I mean, you said it in the beginning. You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Exactly. And I think that's more exciting for me. So
that's really dope, dude. And you're a musician through and through. I mean, you're playing saxophone at 3 years old.
Second grade,
close enough.
Yeah, pretty much. I just did 2 shows this weekend with a band project that I played keyboards in. Nice. Also at Reggie's. My friend Martin Atkins, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but anyways, he used to play drums in Ministry and Nine Inch Nails and Killing Joke and Public Image Limited.
He's
and
the real deal.
He put together like a super group band to play this Killing Joke album that he helped write like 30 plus years ago. And we had Randy Blythe, the singer of Lamb of God, was a vocalist, and one of my favorite bassists, dude, Justin Pearson from this band, The Locust, and 31G Records, played bass, and a bunch of other like people from all over the country came together, and we rehearsed this show for like 7 months, and we like it was all like live, like keys and samples and stuff that I played with that too. So
that's so sick.
It's fun to still like get to do like a regular band show and DJ sets and do the full electronic. So I'm like been getting to dip my toes into a lot of worlds lately, which is a lot of fun. So
that's awesome, dude. That's so awesome. I mean, that is what I'm jealous. I would love to be able to like just do other live performances and work with people. Someone hitting you up, the drummer from Nine Inch Nails being like, hey, come play the keyboards over here for me. Like, that's so sick, dude. Do you have what's it called, perfect pitch, where you don't have that?
No, I don't.
You can read music though?
I could transcribe notes from the treble clef and bass clef, you know.
I don't even know what that means.
So yeah, I mean when people say like read music, it's like it's being able to translate the notes from the lines on the staff to like know what notes or chords.
Yeah.
I'm not as fast because I don't have to do it very often, but I can do it taking my time, you know.
So if you don't have perfect pitch, how do you, when you're doing your live unplanned sets and you're creating this music, how do you know?
That's the beauty of it, because it's like you don't need perfect pitch to know if something sounds good or not. It's like you can just like you can sense like if it's good or bad or harmonious or dissonant without knowing exactly what note it is. Like you can hear like a chord, you're like, oh, this sounds right, but you might not be able to know exactly what chord it is. That's kind of how.
Okay.
So you can just tell if it's good without. It's just like eating. If you eat like a good piece of pizza, it's either going to taste good or not. You might not know exactly what ingredients went into it to make it taste like that, but you can just know if it sucks or if it's good. You know, it's kind of the same thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's really interesting because I'm trying to. I've been making, like, I started making beats before I started DJing. I was, chopping up samples in Pro Tools that after school in sixth grade with Mr. Key Cohen, trying to make beats. And I don't know. I never felt like I knew what I was doing. I feel that way now. Like back then, I'm just like doing what I like to do.
Yeah.
But now looking back and like when I'm trying to make something now, I never felt like I understood even what the fuck music was. Like now I feel like I have some sort of grasp on it and like how to mold something or I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no,
to
it's
you,
like
but
you could approach it a lot of different ways. Like you don't really need music theory at all, which is different from perfect pitch too. It's like or just to make stuff that sounds cool. It's just the more like, I guess, technical stuff that the more formulas, like it takes a little bit of the guesswork out of the process. So like if you know some of the foundations of music theory, all right, this is a scale, we were limiting ourselves to 7 out of the 12 different notes on the keyboard. If we want to write something in key that sounds cohesive, it's easier if you stick with these notes. So if you're not sure about a note, like, hey, you can ask yourself, is it in key or not? And then is it in the scale or not? And it's more likely to be harmonically cohesive if it is. But then sometimes though, like breaking the rules sounds better than abiding by that. And if you know too much theories, it sometimes will kind of lead you down to making stuff that's a little bit predictable or lame or generic in certain ways because you're playing it too safe. So it's like it's a trade-off. Like this, it could help in making something, whatever. I'm not sure if what note to play or what chord to use. I'll reference, like, is it theoretically correct or not, one choice or another, and usually that it helps the decision making process go a little bit easier. But if you don't know anything about the formulas or the structures that goes into making any kind of music, so you'll end up making stuff that's more original and unique and out there. Sometimes you go too far off the deep end and it's way over here and it sounds like shit. Or sometimes you go just a little bit off and like, wow, now it's something new and original. Yeah. By breaking the rules, so to speak. So I try to like really stress that with my students. It's like the theory can help make decisions, but the most interesting stuff that I hear from new producers that come into it is when they don't know what they're doing, because they don't know it's wrong to put this here or to use this sound or turn this knob this far. You end up like breaking the rules and you end up with new stuff that's more interesting.
Yeah, I feel that. There's sometimes I listen to like newer DJs, or even maybe they're not newer, but they just suck, like a shitty DJ. And I kind of listen more because I'm like, yeah, a lot of the stuff he's doing up there I would never do. But there's like one thing that he does on accident where I'm like, wait a second, I could take that and make it really dope.
Right. Or I would have never thought to put these two songs together, but it's so dope. It just works out. It's the sickest blend, but it's stuff that you wouldn't have. Sometimes I think like when you do stuff for too long, you fall into the same routines or formulas. You sometimes play it too safe in a way that makes it a little bit less exciting. But when new DJ, they don't know that you're not supposed to mix these two genres together. They don't know that this not supposed to work, and they do it anyways because they don't know any better. But then sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it's amazing. So
yeah. What kind of stuff are you listening to now? Like in terms of new music or artists or stuff that's coming out now, what's your go-to? What's piquing your interest?
Oh man, it's tough. Like usually, because I'm like full time, I'm doing music like every day, whether I'm teaching people in Ableton or I'm downloading music for my DJ sets, or I'm doing a DJ set, or I'm playing a live set. Like most of the time, like I don't, because I'm doing music probably like over like 50 or 60 hours a week with a very specific purpose. So I don't have like a whole lot of time to just like chill and like listen to some new stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really like kind of contextual, like and specific to like I can't say that like I have like a go-to artist or something, because it's all very relevant to like what music I'm working on, and I need to like approach it for like as a focused thing versus like a relaxation thing.
No, I feel that
Yeah.
for sure. I feel that for sure. I was actually, I had Slot A on the pod, and he asked me what I was listening to recently, and I was kind of like, I'm just always digging. Like
Yeah,
right now, I'm doing this disco thing, I'm doing this house thing. It's new to me, so I'm just when I'm listening to music, I'm digging through playlists and trying to find new shit that I'm excited to play out.
Yeah, and same. Like whenever, if I know like when I play at Lyra, which I do like a couple times a month, it's all Afro house. So I get to, so you know, a couple times a month, I go dig deep into Afro beats or Afro house and like deep house, organic house, and there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening there. And then like then when I play at Gold Room, it's all like bass house and tech house. So I get to like go into that world for that moment and kind of dig deep and see like what's happening over there. And then when I do after hours sets, it's usually like it's more like tech, like dark tech house or techno. Or when it's my live PA sets, all my time is spent on just practicing my system. So it's like it's different. Like when I played with the band, I was listening to a lot of stuff from Killing Joke that came out like 30 years ago. Then then I was able to like dig deeper into the Killing Joke discography, where they've released like dozens of albums, and it's like and then like getting to play with other musicians. I like to like check out like, oh yeah, I'm playing with my friend Dirk Flanagan, who's from Chicago, who opens up restaurants now, but he was in a band called 77 Luscious Bays back in the 90s. And so it's like it's fun to just like make those connections. And I usually just like listening to stuff people I'm working with or I'm around. I think that's the most interesting to me. Like it's hard to, yeah. So that was a long answer to a question, but
It's a good answer. I mean,
yeah,
it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just, I feel you. It's dependent upon what's on your plate, and you're sort of digging into what you got to get into.
Exactly. And like, I guess like when I'm going, I guess I will like shout out, like there's an artist called Blauvan, who's like from the UK, who's all like, I've been listening to a lot of his stuff lately. He just put out a full album, but he's like one of my favorite like live modular techno performers. So like when I'm getting ready for, if I know like I have a week to prepare for this Saturday night, late night thing, like I'm usually like, I'll listen to his stuff for inspiration. He's like, what is he doing? Stuff like that. So, but it's very contextual, because like any free time that I have, I kind of have to be focusing on the next project, and it's usually so that's what I'm listening to, at the moment. So
yeah, that makes sense. I have some after hours questions for you.
Sure.
So you are obviously you're doing a lot of sets at these after hours. I mean, that in and of itself is its own culture.
Yeah.
Are you've been doing afters or DJing them or going to them or whatever for a long time?
Since I've started, since pretty much like since about 2008, 2009, I've been going to them or DJing them pretty regular. I go through phases where I don't go as much, especially when you get older. Like I'm almost 40 now, so it's like it's harder to go out till 7 or 8 a.m. And plus you being 40 with a wife and how it's not as easy of a sell. So usually lately I'm mostly going when I'm if I'm performing, you know.
Yeah.
But I have been as a patron and as an artist been going to them for a lot of years, in Chicago and other cities too. So
I just realized I've only gone like a couple times, like some random warehouse with a bunch of people with a DJ in it. I was always just looking for girls, and like I'd show up, and if there wasn't anything happening for me, I'd go home. So I don't have a big, knowledge on this, but I did see Bucky Fargo, who I want to get on the pod. I spoke with him. He was at the club handing out little pieces of paper with his after hours on it. And I was like, that's dope. That's dope. In a day where everyone's trying to create content and make a fucking post on their Instagram, this guy's boots on the ground handing out pieces of paper.
Yeah, Bucky and Maria, they're the homies, and I've been doing their after hours parties for over a decade now. And that it goes back to that consistency thing. Everyone knows that pretty much every Friday and Saturday in Chicago, they're going to be throwing an after hour somewhere.
They kind of run the after hours. I think scene.
They're the kind of the reigning like king and queen of the after hour scene here in Chicago.
I got to get them on here.
So it's him. It's they have like a husband and wife team like that puts it on. It's like when they're doing a party, like they'll split up. And they'll hit up all the clubs separately so they can cover more ground, get the word out, pass it out. They still do text messages. They still hands out flyers. You're not seeing them like they're not doing like Instagram reels, or they'll make a post, but like they're very in IRL, like boots on the ground, DIY kind of style.
Yeah.
At doing it.
That's what really piqued my interest. And like I was like, you know what? After hours is like it's a whole culture. And I need some people to speak on it. Just not even that. I need to know about it myself, and then we'll just film it for
it's a lot of fun. It's like, I look at it. It's a place like, especially if you're even if you go to like a house club or like you're still kind of like gonna hear like a lot of like popular stuff or stuff that you might know. I like going to the after hours because if I hear like one song that I know, I'm disappointed. It's like a place you go to hear all different shit. It's a total contrast from all the normal operating hours clubs where you're going to hear all the popular songs.
And because everyone's coming from there anyways. They already heard that.
Yeah,
give me the next shit.
Yeah, I want to hear something different I had never heard before. And it's a place like I love playing because I get to play all the weird stuff, all the stuff that just came out like that night or something like that, and stuff that I've never tried before. So you get to be experimental, you get to be weird, and the crowd is generally way more receptive to it. If you get too experimental and too weird at like midnight on a Friday night in the city, you're going to turn a lot of people off. You're going to get all those Bad Bunny requests and all the stuff coming up. So it's like, it's a place you go to kind of like, just kind of, you get to have fun and it's a different vibe, it's like a different vibe. So people are going there for like usually one or three reasons. One, to hear cool music that's usually number three. The one they're looking to score with someone or something. They're looking to keep, if they're not ready to go home yet. So it's a place you can order a drink or do your party favor of choice, usually with little with discretion, but you also get to hear like cool stuff that you wouldn't otherwise anywhere. So
yeah,
there are, aside from Bucky and Maria, there's a lot of younger crews that have like came up since then that are doing after hours even more. I feel like it's bigger now than it's maybe that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think because dance music's sort of taking back off right now. I feel like after hours is hand in hand and with that.
Yeah, and like a lot of like the younger kind of resurging genres like hard techno and underground techno stuff. It's like that kind of stuff just doesn't fit in River North or the Gold Coast or Lincoln Park or like anywhere like in the major normal club or bar settings in the city. So it's like just out of necessity, because there's no venues that really can support that kind of music. They have to go underground to play. They're setting up their own parties and, like breaking into places or going under a bridge or throwing it in a truck or whatever.
Yeah.
Just because there's the normal scene like isn't as open to stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff happening after hours, so to speak, or raves, so. Do
I need to start my after hours career at 35?
I mean, I that's another thing too. It's like, I feel like if it's not just like, I wouldn't want to see like a young kid playing it. I want to see someone that knows the landscape or can dig really deep. I know that I would trust how deep you can go and how weird and off the beaten path, but still make it awesome. I would trust someone that's 35 or 40 or 50, you know, that's been there and has done it more so than someone that just started DJing. Maybe knows a few songs, but like really can't get that deep and that weird with it. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
you know what I mean?
So it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get married in 12 days.
Oh, congrats. Yeah, that's coming up fast. Crunch time now.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm sure she'll be glad to know that her now husband is just gonna start his after hours career.
Shout out to my wife Monique. She's supportive. She usually makes like the rule is that to be home before sunrise.
There you
If
go.
I'm going
Not bad.
that's like reasonable.
That's pretty
you know?
reasonable.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. If I'm playing, you know, sometimes though I did do one where I was booked from like 6 to 7 a.m. was my set.
Just an hour?
That was an hour set, yeah, for a couple weeks ago. And that one I kind of had to break the rules a little bit. Sorry, Monique, but
It's part of the game.
yeah, it was a later set, but yeah,
What's the longest set you've ever done? I feel like real fucking OG DJs have done.
I've done
double
like
digits.
6 hours before. There was one time at Electric Forest, it I was like a renegade pop-up stage a few years ago, and they asked me to play start at like midnight because there was supposed to be a whole bunch of other DJs that came and no one else came. So I started at midnight. I think I went until sunrise at like 7, and it was like just myself, you know, and so like that was a pretty long set. And I played at like some Lyra a couple times. I've gone like 6 hours, like an actual bar club. So I start early, and then they'll extend the set.
Just Afro House for 6 hours.
Not all. Like so, usually there it's like it starts really chill, really slow. Then it gets builds, but it's a lot of Afro House. But then after like midnight, after like 1, I'll get into more like some other kinds of house, like I'll sneak a little tech house in there, more like some disco house or some other stuff that like. Then it goes back down to so it's like yeah, I think like about 6 or 7 hours, I think would be my longest set solo continuous without any breaks.
Are you trying to break that? Are you trying
Not
to
really,
hit 10
no.
or what?
That's a long time.
It's a long ass
Not to say
set.
that I wouldn't, but if it's, you know, it depends on the situation, you know. Like I could do it. It has to be like the right set. You know, it's hard to play that long when there's not, but if it's a vibe and there's people dancing, I don't mind. I'll play as long as they need to.
Yeah.
I normally at Lyra, it's almost like always like a 5-hour set. So I do that a few times a month. And and if now it's like 5 hours, doesn't seem that long, but
It's like training for a marathon.
yeah,
You get
if you
your-
do it
your
often,
5Ks
it's
in.
easy, you know, it gets easier. So
Yeah.
now it goes by fast because I've been doing it for a while. So
What is a man? Wait, so can you play any instrument essentially?
you know, it's like I could fake it on a lot of instruments. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I think I'm most proficient like from a technical musician standpoint, like on guitar or bass guitar. Like I feel like I could like hold up my own against other players on those instruments. Other things like keys, I'm not as fluid on it because it's not my main instrument, but I could still play chords or I can learn riffs and stuff like that. But I'm not able to like improvise as fluently in some ways as I can like on the guitar. I played drums in a band for a couple years. We did a whole bunch of shows, but I really suck on the drums. I feel like I'm not.
There's no way you suck if you played in the band for years.
Well, it's like, you know, I was doing this very rudimentary stuff, you know, like drums, you know, I can do like, I'm really good at like a steady 4x4 beat. But as soon as we get into weird time signatures or a lot of polyrhythms, that's when I kind of shit the bed. But, but if I keep it nice and 4 on the 4 and straight, like I can do foundational beats, and conveniently the band I was in, that's all I needed to do, and it was perfect. It just worked out well.
Yeah.
So we did it. But
That's so dope.
shout out to Fun Club. I don't know if yeah, that was the name of the band I played drums with.
Sick. How do you feel about AI as a man that really plays all of his instruments and knows music? And
I think it's a great tool. I think a lot of people say, oh, hey, I don't like as soon as like you say, oh, like I did a few other like panel discussions where AI came up and talked about the benefits of it, and like it's another tool like anything else. It's like you could say it's like the internet or fire, or there's going to be a lot of good that comes from it, also a lot of shitty stuff that comes from it. And it's like everyone that there's so many different things it can do. You know, in the worst case scenario, like what it can do is you can, with one sentence, it can produce an entire song, lyrics, music, drums, bass, everything. And have you tried that? Have you seen it yourself?
yeah.
So tools like Suno or Udio or Riff Fusion have been out for a while, and they're continually getting better. And it can literally do all the work for you as far as like making music goes. And a lot of people are really upset about that. And it's like, so you got to ask yourself, like, why, if you're upset because that's a thing now, it's like, why are you upset about it? It's because you're taking jobs away from musicians, like most, or it's easier now than it was before. It's like, I think, it's never been easier to make music without AI than it is now. It's like you can sign up for Splice and use like 5 credits, get like 5 loops, put them together and lay it out, and boom, you have a song. You can make a song without any AI at all, just by grabbing loops and piecing them together in the computer, and boom, you can make a song in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what all these kids that are releasing a song every week are doing.
You know, it's like and no one's like hating on Splice or the computer, you know, like computers are evil, they're taking the jobs of the real. This just makes it even faster and easier to do certain things. And so like, aside from like making a whole song, it can do things like it can master your song for you. It can do stem separation, you know, and it's built into every DJ software now. You can take the vocals off or turn the drums off. That's all AI. So it's like, and that's an amazing tool that, you know, if I want to make an acapella or I could do live mashups, that's awesome. Or studio mashups, it's a great tool for that. You can remix anything now. You can sample anything. People have been remixing and sampling stuff before AI. So it's like, you can use it to make a sample. So like, let's say you're making a hip hop beat and you want an orchestra or a string section. It's like, we can steal someone else's orchestral recording and sample that, and then not give them credit for it and use it. Or we can synthesize using a new orchestral thing it's not stolen from someone else directly, and use that. It's like, what's the difference? To me, that's the way I kind of look at it. There's some Suno has really crazy things, which I think a lot of people don't know about. It's like, you could be working on a song and let's say like, oh, I want an idea for a melody, like a synth melody that fits with everything else. It can make like just this one little part. So if you produce a whole song and you're missing just that one element that you can't figure out or you can't play, or maybe you want a banjo and you don't have a banjo laying around, you can tell Suno like, hey, give me a banjo riff to put in just this one section in one song. And it's like, and it's got to fit really well. Is that cheating? Is that wrong? In my eyes, I think that's just an awesome tool. That's my take on it.
Yeah, it is dope. But I will say I like that your newest passion project is this all hardware.
Yeah, no computers.
Live creation, no computer thing. And I don't know if it's like conscious that you're like, oh, let me go in this direction.
Yeah,
everything's like, over here. I want to go this way. But I like that.
I do it all. Like I said, going from playing in bands to DJ, like a lot of musicians will look at DJs, oh, you're not a real musician. That's not real. You're not doing anything musical up here. You're just playing other people's music. But there's a whole art form into that. And it's like, I think to me, it's all fun and it's all art. And as long as you're creating stuff and using these tools from a sense of passion, you can get cool stuff out of it. It's just never been easier. I think the only people that are really mad are the ones that are not really doing anything with it, or they're afraid that they're going to be missing out or some opportunity or something like no one's gonna buy tickets to see like an AI band. I think that might already be happening. Actually, I think there are like some K-pop stars that are all fully not real. There's like songs and you could go to concerts and stuff like that. So maybe it is, but I don't know. I think it's just like there's got to be a lot of people that still want to see real people playing their own real music that they made. And if you use the tool to help make some of your art or your vision, why not? It's like, it's like there's still always going to be a market for handcrafted goods and items and services, but some people are going to they don't mind the mass manufactured thing. So it's just another tool. If you treat it that way, tools can be very dangerous or they can be very helpful. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's dope. That's a good take. Yeah, I think people who are like upset about it it comes from fear. They're like scared that scared of something.
They must not be doing stuff that's valuable on its own. Whatever it is they're doing. I think that people are still gonna want authenticity in one way or another, and like I'm personally not gonna go out of my way to like listen to AI music as opposed to like I wouldn't like if I had a choice of human music versus synthesized music from code. I'm gonna choose the human music most of the time.
I can't like love something that's just AI. Like, I guess if I didn't know, if I just thought it was a human and I'm listening to it like, oh, damn, listen to the way he did that. I heard like a
statistic that like there's like some mass surveys that have been with like a lot of, and 95% of people can't tell the difference. That out of like thousands of like tests, A to B human, and most people can't tell.
I don't think I could tell. If you
sometimes you can't. Yeah,
that I run that's blowing up the internet because it's some AI song. Have you heard it?
No,
By Heaven
I
or
haven't.
Haven or whatever.
No,
it's a banger. It's fire. And if they didn't tell me it was AI, I would have just been like, yeah, someone.
It's
made
another
this.
track. Yeah, it is scary like how good it actually is. It's to me like when I look at it. If let's say you're Justin Bieber or you're the pop star of the week or whatever, and you're gonna go to the studio to make a song, it's not like that one person is like doing they're not like writing the lyrics, they're not producing the music, they're not doing the recording, they're not doing the mixing, the mastering, the editing, the tuning, and all that stuff. It's like it's a whole team of professionals that are experts at doing one specific thing that come together to like make a pop song happen or to make like a big budget song of any genre a thing. And it's like nowadays it's like if you're using a tool like Suno, it's like hiring a really good singer, a really good songwriter, a really good arranger, a really good, and now it's like, and then you can use it as a tool to help you create things, and you can decide what parts of it to use and what parts you don't, or you just let the whole thing go, like maybe that song too. So it's like, at the end of the day, like most people don't care how it was made. They just care, is this song good or not? And I think that I think it is shitty that a lot of AI music is taking over bandwidth from streams on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, because a lot of it's just getting like, I heard like 30% of everything that's new, it's getting uploaded as AI or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I just heard that in a different podcast just recently, but
I could imagine that.
It seems like it's like a crazy amount of it is all just like completely AI music. But at that stage, it's like, just don't listen to it, like don't just put it yourself on, maybe be a little bit more intelligent on what you're listening to, like take the time and like look up a band or an artist or a DJ and like, oh, they made this song, they put it out. They showed you, like, become an actual fan instead of just giving everything whatever automatically anyways. And that's what I think a lot of the listeners now, they'll go on Spotify, maybe pick out one song and then just let the autoplay handle the rest of the listening experience for them. And so that's not really. And now if AI is coming in and sneaking in to that auto playlist stuff, it's really like on the listener for not caring or not noticing what they're listening to even. So
Yeah. That could be a good thing that comes out of it is making people more conscious of like looking up what they're actually listening to rather than being like, oh, there's this song I like, I'll just like it and then I'll come back.
yeah, I think maybe it might build more fans, and it could help expose more people to different music. Or
I like that. That's a good take.
maybe that's
I'm into that.
that's like a best case scenario
Yeah.
situation. But we'll
like
see.
that.
We'll see how it happens, how it actually plays out. I like, to me, like, I'm not worried about, like, I've got like thousands of streams. I put out about 15 different releases this year. And I haven't like seen a penny from it. I know there's getting thousands of streams, but like by the time the record label takes a half and you split it with a collaborator, then you have to hit a certain price points in order. It's like I'm not really making any. Most producers aren't making money from like the streams of their music, anyways. It's just like more of a way to expose your music to more people. So to me, like, I'm not really worried about it. There are people that once you hit the millions and plus stream level, then you start to see a little bit of tangible income from it. But 95% of the time, or maybe like 97% of the music that gets released on those platforms doesn't make any noticeable amount of money.
Yeah.
That's nothing that's going to be paying the bills or, for it. So
Do you have any tracks coming out? You got anything?
I just had a 4-song melodic techno EP drop last Friday on a label called Stellar Techno Nursery, based out of Romania. It was a collaboration EP with my homie Violet City that came out. And last month, I had a bunch of singles with Mauricio come out. And about 15 other tracks. So I'm done with releases for 2025, but 2026 we're gonna start seeing some more come out. We have a collab track that I did with Alex Wolf. I think is gonna be dropping in 2026. Ferris Wheel Records, so that should be cool.
Sick.
Looking forward to that one, and and a bunch more as are in the works, but I can't say dates yet for them.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Well, I appreciate you coming by and
Thank you
taking
for having
time
me.
out. You're doing lessons and performances and creating music, and you're a busy guy. So I do appreciate you coming here.
I'm glad we were able
figured it
to make it happen. I just happened to have this little window open. I got to get back to the studio here soon. So
Yeah, I won't hold you for too long. So, man, I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. If there's anything else you want to plug or drop.
yeah, just I'd say follow my Instagram. I usually try to plug my new music and live PA shows. Also have a website. If you're interested in lessons, you can hit me up on there, and I can help you out.
And you do like workshops too through Ableton, right?
Yeah, so I run a thing called the Ableton User Group Chicago, which is kind of a community-free event series that we've been putting on at Spy Bar. We do it a few times a year, where it's like a free kind of a workshop where you can come in, network with other producers, meet, and like get tips and tricks from other experts, producers, and we talk about Ableton and also some of the business side stuff like that. The next one will probably be like in February or March. It's looking like once we get out of this blizzard here in Chicago. But yeah, I do those. So be on the look. We might be actually be doing some other workshops before then, a little bit sooner, but don't have dates on them yet too.
Okay.
So
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, follow Orville if you're interested in that, and if you are in Chicago and doing anything with production, it's absolutely beneficial. So don't fuck that up.
hell yeah.
If you're on the YouTube, make sure you like the video, drop a little comment, subscribe to the channel. Algorithm activating activity. That's what we like to see here. Let's go, champ. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.